manufacturing in this country has gotten a bad name. And it happened over a generation of people that said, well, manufacturing are dirty jobs that need to go offshore. The reality is manufacturing is the backbone of this country.
And the backbone of Hickory, North Carolina, is furniture.
I do a lot of plant tours. They don't realize, once they go through and they see how many hands actually touch that piece of furniture from start to finish, all of the work and the craftsmanship that goes into it.
Century Furniture has weathered many of the economic shocks that have affected the U.S. furniture industry in the last decade and a half. In the late 90s, unemployment in the self-proclaimed furniture capital dipped below 2%. But as trade with China began to grow and the U.S. recession hit, factories were forced to cut workers or shut down altogether, and unemployment shot up to 15%. The unemployment rate has since dropped, but the manufacturing jobs are now half of what they were in 2000. Surging Chinese imports have had a significant impact. Between 2000 and 2015, imports of furniture and fixtures climbed from $4.4 billion to $20.4 billion. The U.S. now imports 73% of all the furniture it consumes, and half of that comes from China. In order to survive, the furniture industry has had to change.
You can offshore somebody making 1,000 red sofas pretty easily. And there's certainly consumers that want that. But there are also segments of the marketplace that are looking for something different, don't mind paying a little bit more.
Century Furniture has survived by offering custom-made and higher quality furniture, instead of trying to compete with cheap imports. But the company's workforce has shrunk to 845 craftsmen, down from almost 1,400 in 2003. The impact on wages has also rattled industry workers. Craftsmen who once made as much as $65,000 a year, some without a high school education, couldn't find those high-paying jobs once their factories shut down.
We had guys that were basically illiterate, and they were making $25, $28 an hour. When you lose that, you're not going to find a job. So you're finding jobs for $10, $12 an hour. So it's a big adjustment.
Jackie Starnes worked as an upholsterer for the same furniture maker for 35 years, until it closed in 2009. He now works for another company part-time and says he sees the frustration people in the area have with globalization, especially trade with China.
I think there's a resentment, and they don't feel secure in going back into it.
It's exactly the kind of anger that Donald Trump has been tapping into on the campaign trail.
We owe China $1.7 trillion. Isn't it amazing? They take our jobs, they take our money, they ruin our base, we owe them money.
The GOP presidential nominee has pledged to slap tariffs as high as 45% on Chinese goods, and that talking point is resonating with voters. In this year's primaries, Trump won 89 of the 100 U.S. counties most exposed to trade with China, including Hickory's Catawba County.
I'm a Trump supporter. What we have in the past is not working, so why not do something different?
Well, I think there's lingering fear because it's fairly close to us in time. People can remember it, or they know somebody whose factory was shut down and that was the reason given.
But while the fear of competition with China is still ingrained in many of the workers, Shuford believes that the industry has come out of that turbulence.
We sell furniture that we make here in Hickory, North Carolina in over 50 different countries. Globalization cuts both ways. Our biggest single country that buys made in the USA Century Furniture product is China.